Hi everybody, it's Michael here from GetFitOver40.com, and I'm doing a mutual video with LTRob from It's My Midlife Crisis, and we're just going to talk a little bit about our channels, obviously a little bit about ourselves, and ask a few questions of one another. And so I'll ask Rob a little bit, just so he can give us a little background on himself and perhaps what the reasoning he got into YouTube and making videos.
Okay. My name's Rob from It's My Midlife Crisis. And the reason I started my YouTube channel is because I had went through some major changes in my life after I turned 40. And I kind of looked at myself as a very ordinary person that was able to experience some extraordinary transformations in my life. And I thought I would share my story with other people. That's pretty much why I did it.
Great, great. Yeah, I guess I'll give you guys a little bit of background on myself because Rob's going to be also posting this video on his his YouTube channel as well. So a lot of his viewers probably won't know who I am, and that's the whole purpose behind this. We want to introduce our viewers to each other's channels because I feel personally that Rob has some great stuff there. He's made some really great videos. He's a little rougher than me.
Yeah, a little.
There's no sugar coating going on over on Rob's channel, so keep that in mind if you're a little sensitive. But I love the stuff he's doing. It's really I get a chuckle every time I watch one of his videos. So getting back to a little bit about why I started the YouTube channel. I'm into fitness. I wanted to share my experiences, and basically when I started the channel I was just over 40. I'm now 44 going on 45, so maybe I'll have to start a Get Fit Over 50 channel too, whatever. Anyways, and I thought it would be great to share this, how things are working, dealing with some pains and stuff and time constraints and all the things that we experience once we get older, and I thought it would be great to share that stuff. I love fitness. I want to be an example for my kids. And that's pretty much kind of the reason. Even though other people can benefit, doesn't matter how old you are. Fitness is, I think, universal and it's scalable no matter what age you are. All right, so I think what we're going to do, we've sort of got a couple questions here for each other, a few questions for each other, and hopefully these questions will help each other's viewers understand a little bit about each other. So, first question I have for Rob: what made you decide to get sober and lose the weight? Because Rob basically was, well, I'll let you say exactly what you're going to say.
Well, that was a two-part process. I decided to get sober for completely dishonest reasons to help my son who was having troubles. And on my channel, there's a playlist called Catalyst, and it kind of explains my whole story. But briefly, my son overdosed on drugs. And before he had a chance to go down the road I went down, I decided that I should probably clean up my life. And I kind of looked at it as a process of teaching your kid to ride a bike. I thought I'd run along next to him for a while and then kind of push off, get him going, and then I'd go back to the pit I was in. Only after I got sober, I realized that I didn't want to go back. And then when I got a good look at myself, I didn't like what I saw. And with clear mind available to me, I decided to make some changes and then started on a quest to lose 100 pounds and did just that.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you didn't just make, I guess, the transformation from sober to clean. You made the transformation from, being, I guess, literally obese to,
Literally.
yeah, to, what is obese? I mean, I guess it really depends. But to being like, you look great now, I think, and you're staying fit too. You're
I wish I
keeping it
looked as
off.
good as you, but thank you.
Oh, no, you look great. And
Right.
so I'm just going to ask you all your questions, and then and then I'll ramble on, I guess, later. So, um, how have you been able to stay sober and keep the weight off? So I know you've got a video and you talk about your game plan, I guess, and I'm going to put a link in here too at least on my end, so people can watch that video where you go through everything. But I thought it would be great if you could just share your thoughts on staying sober and keeping the weight off. I don't know if they go together or not, but
Absolutely. Everything in my life is tied back to the decision to get sober. Even though I did it for all the wrong reasons, it worked. And keeping the weight off allows me to do the things that keep me sober, which I mean, it all just ties together. It sounds silly, and a lot of people might think it's overstated, but when you get sober, you experience sudden sobriety. There's no other kind. You're either sober or you're not. If you've spent many years of your life revolving around that type of lifestyle, when you rip that out, that's why so many people fail at it. They have nowhere to go. a couple months into it, someone suggested to me that rather than complaining about the way I looked, somebody literally just told me to my face, why don't you quit bitching about it and do something about it? And for some reason, the light bulb went off. And so then I started my whole, crusade to get fit and stuff like that. And that is how I filled the void left by sobriety. It's my mission. It gives me something to do on a daily basis, gives me something to plan for, to think about, what kind of workouts I want to do, what kind of runs I want to go on, what kind of meals I'm planning for myself. It literally fills all my empty time. I don't have to worry about anything else. It is my number one hobby in my life. And I think my wife thinks that I've just changed addictions, but she also agrees that it was a major upgrade, though.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I just had a thing in the background tell me I had mail. Don't worry about that. It's going to get in the recording. But yeah, some people say that fitness, I guess, and exercise can be an addiction for people that maybe had a food addiction. Now they've got a fitness addiction, and in your case, maybe it was other addictions that have now moved into this. But you're totally right. I would rather have this as an addiction, I guess. Maybe people that have addictions are just prone to that. They just want to focus on certain things and just stick to it. So
I think there may be some truth to that, the whole addictive personality, statement or whatever, whether it's food or drugs or sex or gambling.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what goes into it. I try not to look too deeply into my own mind because it's frightening in there.
It is
But
frightening. I've seen glimpses of it, for
but
sure.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
I don't know
I
what to
really
say. I
like.
just get a lot of joy out of training. Whether it's
Yeah.
going for a run or whether it's going to the gym, it gives me a sense of accomplishment. And I think something you'll find is common amongst drug abusers, addicts, alcoholics. You'll hear over and over again at those support group meetings is they don't feel like they fit in. They lack self-confidence. They don't feel comfortable with themselves or about themselves, and so they dive into the bottle or the bottle of pills, and it gives them a feeling that they're okay, that they can be themselves. But when you finally accomplish something, whether it be in the gym or on the road running,
Hmm.
you begin to realize that you actually are capable of positive things, and it gives you an enormous amount of confidence in yourself. Actually, to the point where my wife has knocked me down a couple times and told me that, yeah, I can calm down. I'm not actually the king of the world. But that's cool, though, because there was a
Yeah.
time when I was living under a rock and thought I barely deserved that. So,
Yeah. And wives are great at letting us know these things.
yeah, my wife tells me the truth all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. I mean, that's good. They gotta keep you in line, right? I mean, that's why we have wives, right?
I think so.
I think so.
Good
Um,
ones, anyway.
yeah, good ones. That's right. Now, I don't know if you didn't really touch upon it, but there, and I will again put a link with the food. Like, I know your game plan with the food is, some people might just think it's way over the top, but I think it's amazing what you're doing with your how you plan your meals every day,
Hmm.
and you don't set yourself up for success, basically, and
Correct.
you're eliminating any possibility of failure. And again, I'm going to put the link in my end here so people can watch that video. I thought it was awesome. But did you just want to really quickly touch upon that, just because I thought that was great, and I thought my viewers could totally benefit from that, even if they only do it slightly. They're still going to have an advantage over not doing it at all, right?
I think it's pretty common if you look on YouTube, a lot of people that are maybe not obese, but are into getting lean or competing in fitness competitions or bodybuilding, where they plan out and prepare their meals ahead of time so they know what they're doing. And in my case, that video is really the culmination of, I don't know how much time, but months and months. It started out with me just changing one tiny piece of my diet at a time, which is what I would recommend to anybody. You're not going to make
Hmm.
wholesale changes. A lot of people do that. They go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of, produce and chicken breasts and brown rice and join a gym. And 3 days later, they're at Pizza Hut. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I mean, you just
yeah.
can't do that. So the reason I do it that way is so I don't have excuses.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't have, if I'm going to get fat again, if I'm going to go into all those bad habits again, it's going to be because I willfully chose to. I'm not going to be able to say, well, I ran out of time, or I wasn't prepared, or I didn't have any other choice, or I had to, or I just like that security, that structure.
Hmm.
That's an addict thing too. I want everything. I want to control my environment. I want to have things the way they need to be for me to be the best me I can be. And it is extreme, but it
Hmm.
works for
Yeah.
me. So, I mean, that's the only thing I could do, Mike, is do what works for me.
Yeah, and I think it's a great idea. Like I said, even if people don't do the whole program, like you said, but maybe they plan several of their meals, right, so that they don't have to worry about, like you said, running off to McDonald's or eating a
Right.
pizza or all those things, right? So, and I like what you said, like attack your sort of your meals or your eating situation one thing at a time, like whether it be like stop drinking pop, right?
That
Cut
was
out
my
some of the
first
snack.
step.
Yeah, stop the
I still
pop, right?
drink pop, but
Yeah,
diet. But
yeah, diet
non-diet
exactly.
soda is just enormous amount of calories. You just
Yeah,
swill down, and it makes people fat.
yeah,
In my
exactly.
opinion, I mean, I
No, I
don't
hear
think.
you. Well, I know. I mean, you can drink like 1,000 calories a day. I mean, it's especially if you have alcohol in there, right? More than that. Anyways,
Exactly.
I got one more question real quick here for you. What advice do you have to other people over 40 who want to improve their fitness and health?
I have one piece of advice that I've learned the hard way is, in fact, I was planning to make a video about it, is forget about comparing to anyone or anything.
Mhm.
It's just failure. Don't
Yeah.
look at fitness magazines. Don't look at other YouTube channels where the guy there with the shirt off and he's all ripped and stuff. That's all great and good, but that's not where you're at. And if
Hmm.
that's how you're going to base, you won't be success if you don't reach that. Well, then
Hmm.
what if you don't?
Yeah.
So I think my number one goal has been to get healthier. That's
Yeah.
all I set out to do. I had no idea it would snowball the way it has,
Hmm.
but I have gotten healthier and I feel better, and the looking better happened automatically.
Yeah. No,
So
that's great.
concentrate on improving yourself on your where you're at. So if
Hmm.
you're totally sedentary right now and you don't ever do anything and you're obese, but you start walking 10 minutes a day, 3 days a week, boom,
Yeah.
victory. Build on that. Don't look at the guy next door that just got back from a 5 mile run and quit. You're
Yeah.
not him. Just be the best you can be.
Oh yeah, that's so true. I mean, there's people. I mean, I watch all these videos, and these people you watch, and sometimes they're like decades older than me, and they're just, some of these I've seen powerlifters that are in their 60s, 70s lift more weight than me, and like I'm just like, how's that humanly possible? So I should just quit today. No, it's something to strive for. You look at that and you say, well, if he can do it, I can at least do something close, right? Or
Sure.
if that person can look
Get on the
that, yeah,
path. You might not
get on
meet
the
the same
path.
destination, but you can still get on the path, though.
Totally, that's
And
right.
then you're doing more than most everybody. I mean, look
Yeah,
around. Go to the
yeah,
store when you grow shop. Look at the people around you. Go to the movies. Look at the people around you. Most
yeah,
people, I mean, honestly, most people do lead pretty sedentary lives. They don't really worry
yeah,
about their health and stuff. So if you're doing anything at all,
yeah.
you've already won, in my opinion.
Totally true. Exactly.